All right, Mopar people, welcome back to the channel. I'm just Mopar Joe, and I have brought Mr. Rick a 426 crate Hemi for us to improve. This is kind of an odd deal. Let me explain it. So I had some viewers of the channel reach out. They got this 426 crate Hemi put in their 65 Cornet with their dad. Car went 1280s. So they wanted to speed up a little bit. They pull it out, refresh after about 10,000 miles. They add the Edelbrock aluminum heads and a new bullet flat tappet cam. They go to the Indy single plane intake, and the car slows down. So mine and Rick's goal is to speed the car up and get the combination back right on this thing. I want to pull out the engine paperwork and just see exactly what all the specs are. But I know right now we're looking at like 9.0 to 1 compression. And Hemis, best I can tell, I'm not really a Hemi man, but Rick is. They need compression to work, get that dome up in there. So we're going to tear this thing apart today, and he's going to have a lot more on his channel about it because he knows more about it than I do, but I'd like to at least share it with you. There's an old part number of sorts. And at one point it had a barcode back here, but there's a spec sheet if they want to see it. That 9.05 to 1 is what threw me off there, Rick.
No, because it came with iron heads, and that's what Mopar wanted to do.
I know he's got some parts in the bin over there too that he's done a pre-disassembly, so it may be a faster day for us. I don't know. 5/8. Yep.
I guess.
It's my first Hemi, Rick, so I didn't even know those had to come out of there. See?
Well, they got to come out.
So I think he's already taken the push rods out.
I hope you have them here.
I think they're in the bin over there. But what brand are these rockers?
That is the Mopar Repop
Okay.
rockers.
So would they handle a roller cam?
Well, you could say so, but
You wouldn't risk it,
I would rather have something else.
right? Got a little ugly spot on the shaft or the pedestal over here. But maybe.
Wow, that is a wow! Look at that.
I don't know what happened there, but
That's been hammered. I mean, literally, it fell out of a helicopter or something.
the other side looks good.
I don't know why that looks so bad. Do you think we can figure out how to seal this up?
Yes, I think so.
You're gonna
I've done it on a wedge before.
a 3/16 gap like that?
That is the widest one I've ever seen.
I mean, how do you? Wow.
Maybe if there's a part number on this pan, could they have sold him a 440 pan, or do they make a pan?
I don't know.
A singular pan that fits 440 and Hemi, and then they would expect you to use it.
I don't know, but I've never seen a gap like that.
That is pretty big.
We're supposed to get that sealed up.
Rick brought this up. There's a shim missing right there, and that's eating into the side of that pedestal now forever and ever. But it didn't even center the rocker over that. It was the shim missing is actually hurting it by not being there. So that'll be an easy fix. It looks like.
You say it's an easy fix, but I don't know where you get those 25,000 shims. I got to find a place to get them. You stole some of mine the other day, and now I can't replace them.
Yeah, they're working well though.
Yeah.
On my race car.
Now I've got 14 now. If I build a 7-cylinder Hemi, I'll be okay.
Are all those there?
Let's see. Yep. So Ray Barton says that when you tighten up these inside valleys, like these are super tight, that distorts the valve seat. And of course, you know, he is being pickier than the general populace. I mean, he wants the last horsepower out of an engine. So, I mean, these are super tight. And that may be hurting something, you know?
Mm-hmm.
We know that this engine wasn't performing like the owner wanted it to, and we're trying to do a, what do you call that? A forensic or whatever?
Yep. Is that the fancy tool that you were talking about?
Yes.
I had to ask Rick, how do you torque those later? And he's showing me.
These are super tight, and if Ray Barton says that's a bad thing on some aluminum heads, then we know it to be the gospel.
Rocker arms off. Someone has made some pretty custom shims. You see that serration? I'm assuming these were done with some tin snips and a drill or something maybe, but Rick said that's not really kosher or a traditional item you would have on your Hemi. So was it working? I don't know.
Street Hemi piston from the good old days. Now, we had better gas back then, and the stock Street Hemi compression was 10 1/4 to 1. When they came out with the crate motor, they put these pistons in, which look to have a lot less dome, and these are 9 to 1. And that's because the gas is a lot worse nowadays, and that's all fine and dandy, but this motor came with cast iron heads. But the Edelbrocks are aluminum, and we feel that on today's premium, you can go 10 1/2 to 1, and we're hoping to wake this thing up and make the man some more power. We're thinking the pistons are going to do this.
All I can tell, it's got a 1/2 inch pickup tube, probably H-beam rods.
Yeah, look like eagles, aren't they?
I don't know. Yep, says eagle on the head. We can check the side clearance before we take it apart if you want to.
All right.
Which it's supposed to be written on the sheet over there, but maybe he just made a number up. I don't know.
It's got side clearance. It's really beautiful in here. I mean, I don't know how you could look any better and be a running engine.
Pretty clean.
Very clean.
So I noticed these giant notches at the bottom of the bores.
That would probably be because these were also available as a 472.
Okay.
Which is, what is that, a 4.150 stroker? And if I remember right, these are Mopar bearing size. So, you know, you've got the 2.375s here instead of the 2.2s would run on a normal stroker. So it takes more notch.
Gotcha. That should have a mile of room right now, though. I would think.
Yeah, oh yeah. We're just stock stroke.
Yep.
This number 3 bearing looks terrible here. I don't know why. And look how, I mean, it's not, it doesn't want to stay in the crank. It's, wow, that thing's ate up.
Mm.
But I don't know why. I mean, this is an HND that's narrowed, and and this isn't even.
Is that? I mean, that is the upper, right, or lower? Excuse me.
Yeah, it's the lower bearing, and it's in the it's in the cab, and this is the side. That's the side that meets the radius. That's terrible.
Oh. Is there any rubbing?
No, no.
Hasn't rubbed there. Fresh rebuild.
Well, you would think this was, I don't know, something's not happy here. That's all I know.
Here's a teardown. The rod bearings look a little suspect, like that one I showed you a second ago. Several of them had a lot of strange wear, like on that edge, right? Both outer edges. Don't know. There's a rod number. We couldn't find a piston number. The crank has some numbers, but we don't know much about it. I Googled those, they didn't pull up. The main bearings were this M series from Clevite, and it says they're made out of Babbitt. Rick says, we don't need Babbitt for this application, so they probably don't need to go back in. This is more of a street engine that gets drag raced sometimes, so they'll need replaced. What's the next step, Rick?
Hone.
You'll drop it in the hone, see what it takes?
Yep, see what the cylinders look like.
Okay. You're gonna show them all that?
Yep.
There you go. So there's my first Hemi teardown ever. Hopefully I'll be back at some point for the reassembly whenever the new pistons come in. But you'll have to go see Rick's channel if you want to know what his next step is. Thank you all for watching.